Do you ever feel like you're never doing enough, even when you're exhausted? Well, that nagging little voice in your head that kind of sounds like an even more aggressive version of the mother-in-law that you'd like to forget existed. And yep, you guessed it, that's the one sucking all your enthusiasm for life, whispering things like, why are you watching that crappy TV show when you've got over 6,000 emails to delete? Or are you really trying to convince yourself that that cat getting freaked out by a cucumber over on Instagram is doing research? Or even the one that cackles like the grim fairy tale witch when you're thinking of taking a day off? Well, that, my friend, is known in the industry as productivity guilt. I know, right? It's so darn famous that it has its own special name. It's not just guilt, but productivity guilt. It's silently sucking away at your soul like the Dementor in Harry Potter and that mother-in-law we just mentioned did the X-rated thing down a dark alley. Now, if you're nodding along, exhausted yet still find yourself doom scrolling through endless X posts about the latest government faux pas, this podcast episode is definitely for you. Now, this week we're going to be diving into this modern madness, breaking down the science and serving up some actionable steps to kick that guilt to the curb. Buckle up, it's going to get real, but as always with a slice of humour and a slice of the eye-rolling sarcasm. Now, let's face it, we're all guilty of turning ourselves into task-checking robots, ticking off lists, peeking at work emails at midnight, and comparing ourselves to those perfect trad wife Instagram reels. Spoiler alert, it's all product placement and fake smiles. Now, in fact, this whole productivity guilt is far more widespread than you realise. Research shows 68% of UK workers feel guilty for not clocking extra hours, which they're not getting paid for, might I add. And guess what? That guilt spikes stress, anxiety, and even screws up your sleep. Sounds like a recipe for a super healthy, happy, and motivated workforce, right? Lol. Now, to make things worse, there's the Zeigarnik Effect, which is sadly not a super cool psychedelic filter which makes your background look like you've just taken some LSD and are now tripping. It's actually a fancy term for how unfinished tasks haunt your brain like a ghost from a 1950s inspired horror film. Bad acting included. In fact, this productivity guilt is so famous that it actually has two names. It's also been dubbed toxic productivity, an obsessive need to always be on, which ironically tanks your output when burnout hits. Now, my own productivity guilt hit hard last week. I worked 8 days worth of chaos into 6, took a day off to see a friend, where I excitedly tucked into a steak and Malbec pie, which ended up tasting like a £2.50 Aldi steak and gravy disaster. Yuck. Still ended up having to work until midnight to ensure that everything was sorted for Monday. Now, to be fair, the dog diarrhea drama or the 4-hour break fell saga didn't help the stress of the day, and I clearly upset the universe that day and was being dished out a whole load of cow shit karma. Now, moral of the story, guilt doesn't care if your pastry flops or your dog has liquid poo. It just wants more. Now, at the heart of this guilt fest is the sneaky belief that your value hinges on what you produce, like fighting psychopathic elites or folding laundry, which, let's be honest, my partner mangles worse than a Marie Kondo meltdown. Now, Dr. Christine Neff, the self-compassion queen, showed in a 2003 self-compassion scale that treating yourself kindly during productivity fails is a quick way to help boost overall well-being and jumpstart your motivation. And a 2018 Journal of Personality review backs this, linking self-compassion to lower guilt and better emotional regulation via the anterior cingulate cortex, which is just science speak for your brain's chill switch. Now, there's been oodles and oodles of research into how many of us adulting end up feeling unworthy when we're not productive, which is absolutely insane. Now, what's more insane is the fact that I tried to find a stat for this, but after 10 minutes of frustrated searching, I gave up. Surely there has to be a stat out there. Oh, also, I was so determined to bring you this stat, I jumped to an AI that just made one up. and I couldn't find a real piece of research that backed it up. However, research has been done into how it makes us unworthy. Now, anyway, back to the podcast. We have been hoodwinked into believing our entire worth is based on our output. Time for us to remember we're not on a production line churning out tins of canned meat or car parts. All this is ever going to do is feed the burnout beast in the same way that I feed myself all things cake, carb and wine over the weekend. Now, Neff's 2022 model, self-kindness, common humanity and mindfulness, says it's okay to rest, especially when battling with your home, health, work and the entire social madness that's going on right now. You're not a robot, despite what that dementor mother-in-law spawn thinks. I'm 100% guilty of this too, and have to keep reminding myself the world won't end if I skip a day, especially as it's been 5 years of ranting and we're still here. Humans, hey? Now, even AI like Grok took 10 minutes to untangle my word salad of voice notes I'd made the other day. Proof humans and robots alike are not built for instant everything. Now, ditching productivity guilt unlocks sustainable well-being, which is a posh way of saying long-term peace, where you live by your values, not a task tyrant's whip. Now, a 2020 American psychologist study ties this to higher life satisfaction and lower burnout, and Yale's 2022 research shows nature and intentional habits such as growing your own food can help slash stress by 30%. Cool, huh? And with 30 to 48% of UK workers burnt out, intentional peace beats hustle culture's joy theft, hands down. And it's why I'm guilt-free recharged with an episode of Harry Wild over lunch. Yes, trash TV, but it did the thing to help my pooch nap and my brain reboot before heading back to the office for round 2. Here's the truth. Laughing at bad plots is proven to pump up serotonin, so I wasn't just vegging out in front of the box. I was actually priming my immune system and flooding my body full of mood stabilizing hormones, a much better use of my time than stressing out over dirty dog feet on my freshly steamed floor. Time for the good stuff, backed by science and a sprinkle of Katie sass. Number 1, adopt the rule of 1. So pick one value-aligned task daily. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it helps you move the needle in one of your 3 key life areas: health, wealth, or relationships. Then make sure you check in before bed and ensure you actually did the thing so you can sleep easily knowing you were successful that day. This helps to boost efficiency by 25%, helping you ditch being overwhelmed faster than you can say mother-in-law is coming to tea. Number 2, time box your genius. So set a 90-minute deep work slot to work on your one thing, and then no matter where you are, stop. This is going to be hard, but it's so powerful. This is the fastest way to break the guilt cycle and ensure you're more productive because you've a set time frame to get things done. You'll also be rewiring your mind to create clear on and off boundaries, helping you easily avoid those midnight email scrolls. Oh, and extra bonus points if you use the Pomodoro technique, because that thing literally clones you without AI. Number 3, laugh your stress away. Steal 5 minutes for funny Instagram reels or gratitude journaling, and skip meditation if trauma is lurking. It's a minefield. Now, they don't call social media a dopamine high for no reason, but you've got to use it in the right way. No more scrolling things that make you even angrier. Train a second social media account if you have to, purely for giggles. Trust me, it's worth it. Not only will you get the dopamine hit, but you'll also quickly and easily flush out the cortisol lurking in your bloodstream, helping you stay productive for longer once you head back to work. And number 4, plan tonight, thrive tomorrow. This is one of the secret hacks that's so simple but will literally change your life. Instead of waking up each morning racing around and trying to plan everything in, decide your key value aligned tasks the night before. When you're finishing up for the day, what you've achieved is already fresh in your mind and you will have a clear path of what to do next. Now is the best time to schedule what you're going to focus on and create a little plan for the thing that has to be done next. Plus, Also schedule in a couple of extra follow-on bits just in case you get more done than you expected, especially if you're using that Pomodoro technique. Now, even scientists say shuttling things in is the secret to feeling successful before your head hits the pillow. Even as you go throughout your day, you can grab things you do, plug them into your key life areas, and redefine them as value-based tasks. Heck, I redefine steaming the floor as improving Matt's mood because no one wants to walk in the house after a long day to endless trails of dirty dog feet on the floor. Perception is king. So productivity guilt, it's a liar peddling burnout while you chase meaningless tasks. From my car woe affirmations to Noah's brain rewiring, it's clear that your brain thrives on quality, not quantity. Celebrate your wins, fold that laundry, laugh at a reel, rest like a champ, and watch peace take root. You're awesome, and I'm proof that even a messy desk rebel like me can thrive. P.S. Ready to master the enhanced Pomodoro technique and nightly planning hacks from tips 2 and 4? Join the Happiness Hacks Lab for a 7-day free trial, no credit card needed. And when in, watch my The Easiest Way to Achieve Your Goals video, plus download the walkthrough guide and unlock guilt-free productivity. Click the link in the show notes below because it's way past time you ditch the toxic productivity forever.